Ξεκινάμε σε λίγο, 10:30 είναι το πρόγραμμα. Δεν μπορεί, θα μας ακούει. Μας ακούτε οι φίλοι από το ψηφιακό περιβάλλον?
So, good morning, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the whole conference and also the entertainment in Syros. And of course, you are welcome to come back next year because at the 19th annual seminar of Hermopolis. Now we have, as always, in Sunday, which is not the best time because due to the that is in the end of this conference, and also usually in Saturday night there are other activities, so it's a bit difficult to accommodate this invited keynote speech. But usually it is an opportunity to invite some very good scholars. And among them now, we have in this seminar, Dr. Bhaskaran Angathevar, who is current position is the professor at the Department of Public Administration, Political Science and Development Studies, Faculty of Business and Economics. He's head at the University of Malaya North-South Research Center. And of course, Dr. Bhaskaran holds a DPhil in Science and Technology Policy Studies, which is on the core from Sussex, and especially University of Sussex and SPRU, and the Development Center were at that time at the peak of their let's say, influence in the creation of this discipline of science and technology policy, innovation studies, etc. And he has a number of, he holds a number of MSCs in financial management, in international studies, in history, in political science, and in history and economics. So he's the right guy to talk about a very important issue, an important topic, which is how to engage alumni entrepreneurs in the student entrepreneurship development process, a social network perspective. We have the same problem, of course, in Europe and also in Greece, because this is the hidden, let's say, power of all these student entrepreneurship initiatives. So we would be very we're looking forward to have your ideas and your experience from Asia and from around the world. I need to say that Dr. Bhaskaran now is our guest also at the university and the Laboratory of Industrial and Energy Economics at the National Technical University of Athens in the framework of CAT-Chain program, which is a EU-funded program, very important in my view, because it tries to link academics and researchers, both from the university who is hosting the and the university that is coming. And in this framework, Professor Bhaskaran is our guest till September, I think, yes. Okay, so thank you for coming, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Yanis, and warm good morning for eminent professors here. I'm grateful. Yeah, I'm very grateful for this opportunity to be able to present as keynote speech on such an eminent conference. As Professor Yanis mentioned, I'm here as part of European Commission funded project CAT-Chain, which is coordinated by Bocconi University Milan. And it is a great project. We need to thank European Commission for enabling such a consortium of 15 universities, including 9 universities from European Union and other 6 universities from outside European Union, including University Malaya, my university. So we are I would like to thank the European Commission funding and National Technology University of Athens for hosting me here. And I'm grateful for this opportunity. So now I would like to talk about engaging alumni entrepreneurs in student entrepreneurship in the development process using a social network perspective. As we all familiar with what Professor Yanis mentioned, the developing countries are trying to introduce some of the experiences which were successfully achieved in developed countries. This included entrepreneurial universities development, developing student entrepreneurs, you know, triple helix experiment, experiencing linkages between government, industry, universities. So this is the kind of effort being followed in many emerging countries on the footsteps of developed countries like United States, European countries, and so on. So this, my talk is specifically on a case study from China on how a university is trying to encourage links between alumni entrepreneurs and the student entrepreneurs in their university ecosystem. So that's the main focus of my talk. So I will start with the entrepreneurial university ecosystem background, and I will later discuss the case study. So we are all familiar with the triple helix framework, where universities are encouraged to link up with industry and government agencies to promote economic development, basically, including commercialization of research, which are conducted and which are produced by the university professors and students. And this third mission of universities was forced on universities by two drivers. Number one, the lack of funding faced by universities over a period of time, which forced the universities to look for new generation of income opportunities, how to enhance their own income through their research findings. And the second point is the policymakers, their aim of forcing universities to work with industries and government agencies to promote regional development. So these are the major drivers for the third mission, which is triple helix model captures, talking about interconnections between university, industry, and government. Now, this triple helix framework has been extended to include civil society, the fourth actor, and which is captured by this new framework called quadruple helix. So this is the evolution which is taking place in the entrepreneurial universities ecosystem. Within this framework, the important force is student entrepreneurship. How to encourage students to become entrepreneurs. How to nurture student entrepreneurship, especially in the form of spin-off companies, providing direct, tangible. This helps to give evidence for universities providing some kind of output, how much they are able to achieve. So when you produce patents, licenses, copyrights, trademarks, and spin-off startups that are tangible outcomes where universities can promote themselves and they can say that they are able to contribute X amount of, growth for the local economy and so on. So it offers a concrete proof that university is relevant, updated, and competitive in research commercialization. In this context, peer influence from faculty and staff are crucial to form students' decision to hold startup positions. See, professors play a major role. If you look at the student entrepreneurship development process, there are two stages. Number one stage is how to encourage students to start businesses or enter into commercial business activity. That's a kind of formative stage. That's forming intention to start a business. Then once they have decided to start a business, it leads to acquiring resources for successfully engaging in commercial activities. So this one is resource acquisition stage. So we can see this development process for student entrepreneurship in two stages, formative stage and resource acquisition stage. So formative stage, it's very different from resource acquisition stage. Formative stage is just forming an intention to start a business. So in that first stage, I think the professors and staff play a major role. So if you look at the studies in this area, most existing research findings confirm that universities do play a positive role in promoting entrepreneurial intention, attitude of students, or new business creation. So what we are going to do is to test this in a developing or emerging economic perspective. We did a case study of Chongqing Jiaotong University of China to analyze the engagement of alumni entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs and helping how they help or nurture student entrepreneurs in the university ecosystem. And we use social network perspective. The background to this case study is after 2010, Chinese economic growth slowed down and which created, it was consistently about 10% for over a decade and it slowed down below 10% of GDP growth and it increased some youth unemployment. So the Minister of Education in China has called on the universities to support student entrepreneurship to offset this unemployment among youth. So our colleague in Southwestern University of Economics and Finance, Professor Ming Feng Tang, and another staff from department, we joined to did this research on this case study, and I will discuss this in detail after discussing some conceptual issues. So social network and student entrepreneurship. There have been increasing, discussion of entrepreneurship from the perspective of social network in general, not just student entrepreneurship. The argument here is successful entrepreneurship requires networks and networking, and the evolution of social network has an positive impact on entrepreneurship trajectory. The entrepreneurs can benefit from social networks for creating entrepreneurship motivation, enabling access to wide range of valuable resources such as information, customers, suppliers, capital, technology, labor, and so on. And also help awareness of business opportunities, market intelligence, and so on. So social networks have an inevitable impact on entrepreneurship, particularly in a country like China, where relationship matters, where people work in different walks of life based on their relationship with each other. So that's a relationship culture-bound society. So that's very important in this case study context. So when we talk about social network and alumni entrepreneurs, research on social network, although it has grown over the years, uh, there is some kind of alumni entrepreneurs or specific type of actors in the social network, but it's still remains underexplored area of social networks in the context of uh, student entrepreneurship or university and entrepreneurial university ecosystem. So when we talk about social network, the important role it provides entrepreneurs with access to financial resources, technology, innovation resources, commercial and business capabilities, human resources and resources related to quality management, organizational capabilities, and so on. So these are the resources which are important when a student entrepreneur embarks on commercialization of startups and spin-off and try to establish a commercial entity. So in this context, the question is how alumni are important in student entrepreneurship development process, particularly in the two different stages. Early stage, which is formative stage, when the students form intention to start a business. The later stage, which is once they decided to start a business, how to acquire required resources to make it successful. So in the formative stage, for example, Jiang and Go, they argue that perception of strong relationship support, family, relatives, good entrepreneurship examples of friends, all can have a positive effect on the formation of entrepreneurship intention. That is just when an individual student decide to start a business. The other studies also confirm that professor support, business network, private network, they can all improve entrepreneurial intention of researchers. It's a combination of different actors which contribute to this formation of intention to start a business. So most studies, there are different, although they target on different groups of entrepreneurs, most studies draw largely similar conclusion when it comes to, in general, the role of social network in the development process of entrepreneurship. They all agree that social capital has a positive impact on entrepreneurial intention. So now the social networks of entrepreneurs are generally viewed as connections with friends, family members, suppliers, venture capitals, buyers, incubators, and others. And social network concept has been widely used over the years in the entrepreneurship research because it's important, importance as theoretical significance and practical value. Through social network, entrepreneurs have access to information and resources which provide conditions for entrepreneurial opportunity identification and to help solve resources dilemma. So in this background, as the alumni is one of the important elements of local social network, it is important to study how the alumni, a kind of specific type of social network actor, can play a role in student entrepreneurship development process. So in this context, our paper will develop social network, adopt a social network theory to identify what are the actors in the university entrepreneurship social network and analyze the impact of different actors and particularly focus on alumni and their role in two stages of student entrepreneurship development process. Number one, the formative stage where the intention to start a business is formed, and the second resource acquisition stage where student entrepreneurs require various resources to implement their startup and make it a success. So this is the case study. I will just go to the case study now. First, before we start the case study, I will explain basic definitions we use for the study. Number one, student entrepreneurs. Who are they? In our study, students who have not graduated from Chongqing Jiaotong University, they are still students and they are creating or have created their own business on campus, which is less than 3 years old. Alumni here means those people who have graduated from Chongqing University and are currently entrepreneurs and running their own businesses. They are volunteers who inspire young students to become entrepreneurs and help grow their own new business. So these are the basic definitions of these two groups of actors, which are covered in our paper. Now, we use social network theory and case study research method. Primary data was gathered from three sources. Number one, the College Student Center for Innovation on Entrepreneurship, which is a kind of business incubator. And university, this is a university entrepreneurship management institution. Number two, the group of alumni entrepreneurs involved in promoting student entrepreneurship in the university system. And lastly, the university student entrepreneurs themselves. So why we selected Chongqing Jiaotong University? There are several reasons. Number one, it's one of the top 10 innovative provinces. The Chongqing is very innovative. You can see it has transformed into a huge smart city in the last 10 years, which is ranked 8th across the regional innovation capability of China report 2015, and the first nationwide in terms of GDP growth in 2015. The call for mass entrepreneurship and innovation is widely accepted and practiced by Chongqing government, the regional government, and the universities in the province, and industries and other institutions in the province. It's a well-known engineering university, and its research capabilities in fields such as transportation, IT, road and bridge construction have gained nationwide reputation. It pays higher attention to student entrepreneurship training and practice. It invites the alumni back to the campus to guide and support students towards creating their own businesses. The data collection, we did 2 rounds of interviews and survey. Of course, it was conducted in Chinese. My Chinese colleagues were the main, researchers who did this data collection. Mr. Zixin Liu, one of the senior managers of Students Center for Innovation, who himself is an alumni, one of the alumni from Chongqing Jiaotong University, was interviewed, and he is also the manager of the incubator. He's a founder and president manager of the incubator based in the center. And the second round of interview was conducted with the director of College Student Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, 4 alumni who were engaged in student entrepreneurs. And the last group of, it was a survey conducted among student entrepreneurs. We administered 47 questionnaires, 25 valid questionnaires were returned by them, accounting for 53.2% of the total. So if you look at the breakdown, basic information of the survey student startups, mostly they are male, 17 out of 25 male, 8 female, and 24 bachelor students and 1 master student. And size of the startup, between 2 to 10 employees, there were 20, and above 11 employees, 5, And industry sector, 18 are from service sector, 17 are from manufacturing sector. And their age, less than 1 year, most of them are very young, that's 20. And between 1 and 2 years, between 2 and 3 years, one startup, and between 3 to 4 years, two startups. And the first question was the importance of various social network actors in the formative stage of their student entrepreneurial intention. When students are forming intention to start a business, who are the actors who had the more or most important role or impact on in that process? So even though our interview gave an impression that alumni engagement in university student entrepreneurship process is very important, the statistical analysis shows that at the early stage of the university students entrepreneurship intention process, the importance of alumni connection is comparatively big. The reason is most of the time at that stage, the alumni engagement with the university students are very limited. They come for maybe business plan competition as jury, they do some seminars, so they are invited speakers, but it's mostly the other actors like family or professors who have more impact on intention to start a business stage. So only 8% of entrepreneurs view the alumni were very important, and 20 view as important, 36 somewhat important. This is probably because alumni are not very closely involved in the early stage of the student entrepreneurial intention stage. And professors, they play a major role at that stage. So compared to the professors, alumni have much less direct contact with students, university students. Professors are the most important factor influencing the entrepreneurial intention of university students at formative stage. The alumni are often, as I mentioned already, invited to give seminars, and they become jury for business plan competitions. And in this stage, family seems to be the second most important social network actor. Friends are ranked as the third most important type of social networks actor. So the entrepreneurial spirit of a friend can influence students' entrepreneurial intention at this stage. So we can draw this conclusion in this stage. There are different influences. The most important influence seems to be the professor's support to start a business, and the role of alumni entrepreneurs are limited. The second is the resource acquisition stage. What are the roles of different actors in the social network, including alumni? So at the entrepreneur research acquisition set, we can see that importance of alumni entrepreneurs is stronger than at the formative stage. Of the total survey, 20% view the alumni very important, 28 as important. This puts importance of alumni equivalent to that of family, which is considered by 20% as very important and 24% as important. The finding to some extent confirms that alumni engagement does play an important role at the university student entrepreneurial resource acquisition stage. So compared to this two-stage development process, alumni role is very important at the second stage, which is resource acquisition stage, compared to the first stage, which is formation of intention to start a business. So overall findings. So according to this survey, student entrepreneurship benefit from various resources provided by alumni entrepreneurs. The highest ranking resources among them is information, followed by material support, client resources, human resource, technology, and financial resource. They help student entrepreneurs identify business opportunities and lead them to overcome barriers faced by them. The alumni are willing to help the younger students, both female and male. They view the assistance given to student entrepreneurs as a kind of payback to the university where they studied and where they benefited from. And this we can see from their statements I will show you in a minute in table 2. To our surprise, the professors again are viewed as the most important social network actor for student entrepreneurs. 36% view them as very important and 20% as important. This indicates that professors play a key role in the process of student entrepreneurship development in both stages. So it's a kind of relative importance of the role of professors and alumni. While professors play a major role in formative stage and they play probably a secondary role in resource acquisition stage, alumni play a minor role in formative stage. They play a major role in resource acquisition stage. So some of the statements which I will show in table 2 shortly from university entrepreneurship managers, alumni and student entrepreneurs, it shows that the tie between alumni and the university is very strong. So this is important. University as an institution is the bridge, the link between the alumni and student entrepreneurs. The university's ecosystem which brings these two actors together. So as an institution, university plays a major role here as a bridge. The tie between alumni and student entrepreneurship is significantly and positively related to the tie between alumni and university. So the relationship between alumni and university on its own is very important. If that relationship doesn't work well, then it may not work well for the student entrepreneurs. So university as a bridge, bringing this relationship to work in a efficient manner is very important. Alumni do have an important influence on the formation of entrepreneurial intention, which I already mentioned to you. The main assistance of alumni lies in helping students to evaluate their own characters and business projects and identify clearly the entrepreneurship process and risk. So now let me read through some of the data we received from interview. So this is like alumni, university student entrepreneurial intention and behavior. The statement from university entrepreneurship manager, it says, for example, it talks about in terms of entrepreneurial intention. It says, based on my knowledge, the communication between alumni and students does promote the formation of our student entrepreneurial intention. We invited some alumni who have had successful entrepreneurship experience to give our students some lectures and gave them title of the campus mentors for entrepreneurial students. We hope they can inspire students to become entrepreneurial. We do have some students who have started to create their own business after entrepreneurship training. So it's a kind of the university incubator bringing together the alumni and students from the startup stage before forming intention, after forming intention to start business. So alumni says, what I mainly do is to let young students recognize the early reality or challenge of entrepreneurship. If they really want to develop entrepreneurship as career, we will help them determine entrepreneurial intention, provide them entrepreneurship education and entrepreneurial practice, let them have less detours. Based on the difference of business ideas of students, we have different ways to help them. Then examples of entrepreneurial behavior. I go back to the university to help students. We view them as younger brothers and sisters to create and grow their own businesses, mainly because I have an emotional attachment to the university. The university is like an emotional traction link. One end links to the alumni and provides the alumni investment channels. The other is linked to the college students who can obtain needed resources from the alumni to start a business. The concept of mentoring exists in entrepreneurial intangibility. Compared to training and teaching, I think the most effective mode of mentoring is that of master apprentice. When helping others to start a new business, we would like to take into consideration the alumni connection as an important factor. So you can see here the reasons for engaging in alumni, engaging in student entrepreneurship development process, and they want to pay back to the university where they got their own experience from. So there are different quotations. I don't want to read all of them. Maybe selectively I read a few here. So, for example, the university student entrepreneurs, let me read a couple of quotations from them. My company does advertisement business. My many senior university brothers and sisters have given me a lot of help, especially helping me make a decision whether I should start a business. I consulted many alumni who have plenty of entrepreneurial experience. I have benefited a lot from the transfer, help, lead activities of alumni. Many alumni have given me great help in the entrepreneurial process. In the formation of entrepreneurial intention stage, one of my classmates has the greatest impact on my decision to become an entrepreneur. Alumni resource play a catalyst role in the development of our company. We pursue co-development with the alumni. So the three different actors, the manager of the incubator, alumni and student entrepreneurs, they have their reasons of what they do and how they are playing an important role in this development process. The resource acquisition stage, similarly, for example, the university manager talks about our university has invested more than RMB 5 million in building the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center, which occupies 3,400 square meters. In the incubation, in the center, in collaboration with one of our alumni, we have created incubation facility to foster student startups. The alumni have successful entrepreneurship experiences and provide resources to our students for growing their startups. In the alumni, to quote an alumni, he says, what I do is equivalent to the role of resource integration. Last month, I helped the junior sisters and brothers of the university to obtain an initial investment for a cultural and creative project so as to solve the problem of initial funding accumulation. We assist startups of youngest brothers, sisters, and brothers in the university mainly in two aspects: market resource matching and individual resource matching. We also help them screen, improve their project, and design appropriate organization structures. The student entrepreneurs, to quote one of them, in the process, many alumni offer me startup some business opportunities. I learn entrepreneurial experience from the alumni and discuss the future of my company with them. Alumni plays a role in resource drainage. The alumni provides us a lot of resources such as financial resources. We in turn help the alumni construct their company website. Sometimes the alumni share some projects with us. We work together and gain profit together. So this is the kind of relationship between the university, the alumni, and the student entrepreneurs. So some of the major findings include, for example, the statement from table 3, which I just read through. It shows that alumni engagement has a positive impact on acquisition of entrepreneurial resource, mainly through the provision of financial resources, human resources, and social communication resources and knowledge resources. Student entrepreneurs mainly grow up from ordinary or poor homes. Their parents and friends lack the opportunity to provide them in necessary entrepreneurial resources. So when the internal social ties of student entrepreneurs fail to meet needs of new business, like the family, friends, they are unable to provide the required resources. then the ties such as alumni matters. They get access to entrepreneurial resources. They provide this support which other social network actors cannot do. The alumni entrepreneurs fully understand what resources are required by the student entrepreneurs. They have the capabilities to provide student entrepreneurs the needed resources, either by themselves or through their own network, internal, external social ties. So to draw the conclusion, overall conclusion, the importance of alumni entrepreneurs is comparatively weaker at the formative stage of student entrepreneurship intention formation, but relatively stronger at the entrepreneurial resource acquisition stage, where when the student entrepreneurs need external resources and support from people like alumni. The topmost research provided by the alumni entrepreneurs are information, followed by materials, client, human resources, technological and financial resources. The professors play the most important role at the formation stage of student entrepreneurship intention. They play relatively strong but less important role at entrepreneurial resource acquisition stage. So it's evident that integrating student entrepreneurship in the relationship network that inspires their entrepreneurial intention and provides them access to needed entrepreneurial resources, it plays an instrumental role in student entrepreneurship development process. So based on this, we made some recommendations. Particularly, universities should proactively foster strong links between alumni and student entrepreneurs, and universities should design entrepreneurship program with active participation of alumni entrepreneurs so that they can benefit the real world experience of the alumni. And with the help of alumni entrepreneurs, universities should promote the importance of localized approach. So because regional cultures are different even within same country. So it's very important to take into the cultural differences, local consumers and business cultures and so on. Universities also should recognize the importance of professors in the process of student entrepreneurship development and provide incentive to them to play an active role in promoting student entrepreneurship. Finally, the government side, the regional and national government should treat student entrepreneurship, create student entrepreneurship venture capital, which is the financial instrument is most important as well in the development process of student entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Excellent. I liked very much your presentation, and it is also very helpful for us because we are trying to also to engage ex-graduates from our university, which is also let's say the most recognized and highest status technical university in Greece, but also in a broader let's say, landscape. Now, before starting taking questions, I liked very much the methodology of your case study and also the information that you draw from this analysis and the recommendations, because I totally agree to that. And in our case, for example, now we have, we are seeking mentors, coaches, evaluators among the broad community of our, let's say, alumni. And they believe that also there will be an attempt in the near future for them to act also perhaps as business angels, because we have a problem in Greece with business angels. But some of them, especially if they had a long career, not only as entrepreneurs, but also as working, for example, in a big company and dealing with business development and also earning some money that at some point when they are finishing their career there, they are very willing to support this kind of ventures. And as it was mentioned in your presentation, they feel as a payback to the university, because many of these people, if they weren't able to join a good university, as you mentioned, perhaps their career will not be as good as was the after. Now, the role of professors, as you said, is important, but also more important is the role of the university in creating these programs and trying also, the next step is trying also to cooperate with some associations. For example, in our cases, we cooperated for 4 years with the Association of Mobile Industry, Telecommunication Industry, and we created a program with 3 stages. So it is very important also to engage these people, because at some point also this is not only a new family, a new venture, but also a pool for new, very well-trained engineers or other people in business by these companies. And also somehow there is a famous saying that many times students are thinking, should I start a venture, go for a venture and leave other careers as a researcher or as working in a large company? But I didn't do it. So here, perhaps is a role that can be, is the encouragement of these people, or at least some of the groups that are are created to give them the go for creating these firms. And regarding the money, as I said, usually even in the US, there is a famous 3F, which means at the beginning, in the early stage, in very early, usually family, friends, and they add, and fools. Some people that believe that this is something interesting to invest, but most of the people say that these people are fools to do that. So I believe this fits very well to our thinking, and thank you very much for your presentation, very good presentation. So anybody has a question or a comment to the presentation to Dr. Bhaskaran?
Yes, thank you for your presentation. It's we feel very familiar with this because this is a process that we are actually trying to do. I mean, to engage with our alumni, and especially in the topic that we deal with in the issues that of entrepreneurship and innovation that we do. We try to be in touch with our alumni. Of course, I guess the social media and this has helped this situation, because it would be very difficult to follow that. Or not, I don't know. This is a big issue. Sometimes the openness or the availability of social media, it gives you also an overflow of information. Maybe you cannot follow that. You know, maybe the traditional newsletter, a postal contact of people may have more value than a mail or a text message somehow. I don't know. This is an open issue. So yes, this is also what we're trying to do. I was wondering whether you have the time to test the result of such a process, if actually there is a further effort of people to become entrepreneurs. I mean, if this process of contacting the alumni has actually produced significant results in a way, and you feel that there's an additionality in this. Of course, you need a diff versus diff analysis, but I was wondering whether you feel that this process has produced results, tangible results.
So We had a discussion following up the paper and the interviews we conducted. It was before the COVID. So there was impetus, there was very good results, possibly at the time. But after the COVID, there was some problem. But the university system was not working. So it's, I think what progress they made, they faced serious block during the COVID time. And also the China has followed a zero COVID policy, which is very difficult for this kind of links to work. Currently, I think they are trying to rebuild this whole process. But overall, they were upbeat. The impact was positive. And one of my current PhD students, he is working on entrepreneurial universities, mainly in the context of how they applied universities. Mostly they are engineering, so they are much closer to industry. They are already working with how they are transforming into entrepreneurial universities. And she's just started collecting data. So it will be very interesting to see what she is going to find out from, because it's a much bigger project than what we did. It's just one case study, one university.
This was a pilot project.
Yeah. But she is doing a bigger project now. I hopefully, if we find some interesting, data from her project, I will share with you. It will be.
And a small, maybe I missed it. Is this a process that the university has formally initiated, or it is an initiative taken by some professors that
No,
they
it's
are
the
in the field?
university themselves.
It's a process, so it's a
Yeah.
formal process.
A formal
Okay.
process, yeah. It's a university themselves taken the initiative, created the infrastructure, links between.
So it's done centrally now.
Yeah,
I mean, not just by a professor that is
Yeah,
very.
But it is being helped by individual brilliance, like the incubator is run by an alumni who is more enthusiastic to do this kind of thing. Those kind of factors contributes to the successful process as well.
So this is probably a field for cooperation between universities in different areas of the world. And perhaps sometime we can organize a multinational and keep bringing data and people from Asia, from Europe, from.
When you come to GlobalX, I will link you with the Ming Fang Tang. And she is director of research centers for herself. She can link you with this Chongqing University.
Okay.
So you could share the experience from, because being an engineering university yourself, that will be much more, attractive for them to engage in relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Professor Magdash.
Thank you for your presentation. It was very interesting, and the example that you gave from the Chinese university and so forth was quite revealing. I have a question related to the responsibility that we have as professors to engage students, talented students, in something that, especially given the last crisis, 10-year or less, 5-year crisis, economic crisis here. I mean, what do you answer to a young person, a talented young person, a graduate that is not willing, really to risk job security or whatever they can find under the umbrella of an established corporation, and to start up something that is not guaranteed by any means that it will sustain itself in the long run. So this is something that we face, especially, at least I personally face now in Greece, given the last period of economic crisis and insecurities that produced in the job market.
I think this is very important. Even forget about students, even others, when they venture into starting a business, the risk is enormous, and there is a barrier, mental barrier, whether to take up the business opportunity or to do something else. But I think from our interview, from the statements we analyzed from the respondents, the most important contribution by the alumni is character, the evaluation, self-evaluation of students' thought process themselves. Because they are previously students from the same university, now successfully running businesses outside, and they become role models, and they also bring confidence to the potential student entrepreneurs, helping them to form intention to start a business, engaging with them, providing them information. So that's one way of offsetting this risk perception. So that's what we come through this when we read their statements. It's clear that they provide this kind of confidence building, assessment of the student entrepreneurs, what they do want to do, what kind of risk they are facing, how to overcome those risks, and so on. So that's where the alumni play a major role in this first stage, when students form intention to start a business. And whatever it may be, at the end of the day, the risks are there. But the role of alumni is like mentorship, advisors, role models, and giving them, enabling the students to reflect their own ability to run a business and manage a business and so on. I think that's how we ought to see that.
Any other question or comment or? Others?
See, in my university, like University Malaya, we have a business incubator. I interacted with them. I talked to the manager a few times. We visited their incubator a few times. We interviewed them. What we found here is in Malaysia, this university is a public university. One of the leading university in engineering, medicine. There are few centers of excellence. They are very successful. But broadly, they could be even more successful, but they are not able to do this for cultural problems, internal contradictions within the organization, the slow response. Because when you bring alumni, entrepreneurs from outside, their time is precious. You need to respond to them quickly. You need to use them more effectively. You cannot just follow bureaucratic rules with them. So that's where our university failed. They are unable to, the culture, overcome the bureaucratic culture which creates barrier, engaging alumni, because they need freedom of space and ability to respond quickly and interact with people, more informal settings and so on. If we put everything formal structure, get approval for this, approval for that, it's not going to work. So that's our experience from University Malaya. Yeah.
But Malaysia is has a rather strong industry.
Yeah, they have they have industry, electronics, electrical electronics, palm oil sector, oil and gas. Yeah.
So it's a very good technological.
Yeah.
As a follow-up, of what I mentioned earlier, I would like to ask also Yannis if he feels that this pressure now because of the economic crisis and job security to start sort of inhibiting, young entrepreneurs and to away from this frontier mentality, the Silicon Valley mentality, whatever, there was around 10 years ago, if they see something subsiding in that mentality, and also people are seeking back umbrellas, safety umbrellas for their careers. They're young people, after all, very talented, and they are, at least in my understanding, in my experience, they have a lot of anguish of how they're going to secure a job rather than getting into the murky waters of starting up a business.
Yes.
I'm asking, you, Yannis, especially.
But as also Angelos mentioned that in his presentation yesterday, let's say, the way we try to promote this idea is that even if you, at the end, you do not set up a business or a viable business, the amount of, let's say, experience and cultural things and technical things that you get by participating in such an effort when you are a student or postgraduate student may lead you to some more safe, as you say, occupation, working occupation, either in a foreign firm or in a firm, Greek firm, or even also if you want to work with the government, where there is a need also from this side of people that understand how important it is to develop this kind of policies, etc. So I believe that instead of doing one and many MSc courses or others, perhaps this is something practical. You sit down with a guy who has the experience, who has also he's enthusiastic in order to help new students, and it will be a very good training. And of course, perhaps you can get also some money that they can also have support their wages or whatever, or their incomes. So, but we cannot say that this, as for example in COVID, it was clear that it was very difficult to do this kind of work. I'm not sure that, I don't have at least signs that younger people, they are not interested or they are afraid, etc. I believe rather that at this point we are in a upgoing curve. And I find this merging between the activities of the students and the alumni very important. And especially in institutions like universities that are have a good fame, a good brand name, and many of their alumni want to give back what they got from this. And for example, when we contacted these people for this type of support, mentoring, coaching, evaluation, nobody said, no, I can't do it. It could be that I have a lot of other activities, so I have a small time slot, but I didn't have any experience from people saying, no, what is that, what you are doing.
Just before we finish with this, because we have to, I believe there is a trend that what Vasilis is saying, that some people now, big companies in Greece, they are hiring. So even people that they have something in an idea, or they are working on something, especially IT people or other people, when they have find a good job, or even if it is not very well paid, but it is okay, they prefer to do that, and they keep on the side this idea. So there is this kind of, when you discuss with people, you see that they prefer to have, let's say, the security of a wage job, and maybe on the side during the weekends or during the, working on this and testing it in a way. So we see this, which I don't know, think if it's good or bad. I mean, but this is, it is something that is gradually happening during the last 3 or 4 years in Greece. So, because the economy is starting a little bit growing again, so despite the COVID, most of the big companies in Greece, they are hiring generally, and they're looking for people, talented people, I mean, the same kind of people that you expect to create startups. So it is the same pool of people that everyone is aiming at. So
yes, but even for these people, these companies, or even the startups in Greece that are now increasing in numbers, etc., they are seeking for personnel that have certain capabilities and skills. So perhaps this might be a pool for these companies and even for the government, for multinational companies or national companies to hire them. So perhaps it is also a contribution there.
I think in case of India, for example, this relationship works reasonably well in Indian Institute of Technologies, which is a very premier institution in the country, and Indian Institute of Management. Previously, because most of these alumni, they end up in United States, in big companies, or they themselves become entrepreneurs in America. So they used to do a lot of funding to this institution. That time, Indian Institute, they were not into creating entrepreneurs. But now the things have changed. Indian economy has expanded, private sector activity has expanded. A lot of private entrepreneurship is thriving. So this institution, they are playing major role. I didn't come across serious studies, but I have a feeling this relationship between university, alumni, student entrepreneurs is much clearer and stronger in Indian Institute of Technologies and Management schools. Yeah.
This is a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much. Hope to also perhaps we can give this kind of lecture also in Athens.
Yes, I propose one more presentation either next week or end of August. I can do it.
Perhaps end of August.
Yeah, the end of August, yeah. Because you are going on vacation. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Shall we take some pictures for the chain?
Yes, of course. What's the category? Don't you put some picture?
No, you can stay here. Let other people sit. You can ask him to come. Ask him to come. Please come. Thank you.
So,
Γυρίζουμε στο κλείσιμο του συνεδρίου. Δεν νομίζω ότι υπάρχει ο πρόδρομος. Σιαβώς είναι μια ιδέα. Οπότε, όπως κάθε χρόνο, έτσι και τώρα, φτάνουμε την Κυριακή, είχαμε τώρα την keynote, φτάνουμε στη λήξη του σεμιναρίου, του 18ου σεμιναρίου. Πάντα από κάθε σεμινάριο έτσι έχουμε τις εμπειρίες τις οποίες αποκομίζουμε από τις συζητήσεις τις οποίες κάνουμε εδώ. Νομίζω τα θέματα τα οποία συζητάμε σε κάθε ενότητα προφανώς κινούνται σε μια συγκεκριμένη περιοχή, αλλά και το θέμα του Artificial Intelligence και τα θέματα τα ενεργειακά και τα θέματα της επιχειρηματικότητας και του tech transfer που καλύψαμε χθες. Νομίζω σε όλα αυτά βλέπει κάποιος μετά στην πορεία, στο χειμώνα που έρχεται, αυτά τα θέματα να συζητούνται και σε policy making, ας πούμε, επίπεδο, αλλά και ερευνητικά από τις ομάδες οι οποίες έρχονται σε επαφή και συζητούν αυτά τα θέματα. Επομένως, θεωρούμε ότι η ατζέντα τουλάχιστον των θεμάτων τα οποία βάζουμε και καλύπτουμε είναι στην αιχμή των σχετικών συζητήσεων, τουλάχιστον βεβαίως για τα θέματα τα οποία εμάς μας απασχολούν. Πάρα πολλά πράγματα, όπως έχουμε πει ιστορικά, και κάποια στιγμή που θα γίνει ένας απολογισμός και γραπτός αυτών των σεμιναρίων, θα δούμε ότι πολλά θέματα τα οποία έχουμε συζητήσει στο σεμινάριο με τον ένα ή τον άλλον τρόπο έρχονται όχι στην επικαιρότητα, αλλά έρχονται στο κομμάτι του σχεδιασμού και της συζήτησης και σε διάφορα περιβάλλοντα και σε διάφορους φορείς. Βεβαίως και για μας που κατορθώνουμε να είμαστε εδώ και να κρατάμε αυτό, έλεγα χαρακτηριστικά ότι για 18 χρόνια το να βρίσκεσαι σε μια συγκεκριμένη περίοδο του χρόνου, σε ένα συγκεκριμένο χώρο, είναι από μόνο του μια επιτυχία. Είναι σαν να σας πω, μπορείτε για τα επόμενα 18 χρόνια να είστε 12 Ιουλίου 5 ώρα το απόγευμα στο Σύνταγμα. Δεν είναι κάτι το οποίο είναι εύκολο να το πετύχει κάποιος, ας πούμε, και να το πετύχει για 18 χρόνια. Επομένως, από μόνο του αυτό έχει μια αξία, αλλά και από μόνο του δεν σημαίνει και τίποτα αν δεν κινητοποιήσει τον κόσμο που θέλουμε. Εδώ τώρα σε πρακτικά θέματα, από την Παρασκευή μέχρι σήμερα, περίπου 100 μπήκανε ηλεκτρονικά, περίπου unique εννοώ συμμετοχές, γύρω στα 70 άτομα. Και εδώ ο κόσμος ο οποίος πέρασε με φυσική παρουσία από εδώ πέρα ήταν επίσης γύρω στα 50 άτομα, δηλαδή περίπου εκεί τα 120 άτομα τα οποία βρήκανε κάποιο ενδιαφέρον σε κάποια από τις ενότητες τις οποίες κάναμε και τρέξαμε, που είναι πάντα εκεί κινούμαστε κάθε χρόνο. Βεβαίως μας έχει επιτρέψει η ηλεκτρονική παρουσία να διευρύνουμε και το ψηφιακό, το COVID, αυτό είναι το καλό της πανδημικής κρίσης, έτσι μας άφησε τη δυνατότητα αυτών των υβριδικών συνεδριάσεων που επιτρέπει και να διευρύνουμε το ακροατήριο και να διευρύνουμε τους ομιλητές που ενδεχομένως δεν μπορούν να είναι εδώ μαζί μας και έτσι να έχουμε ακόμα μεγαλύτερο interaction με την διασχολική κοινότητα και διαεπιστημονική κοινότητα την οποία θέλουμε να συζητάμε. Βεβαίως θέλουμε και όπως έχουμε πει κάθε χρόνο και προσπαθούμε να γίνουμε περισσότερο engaged, πιο συνδεδεμένοι με το νησί της Σύρου. Γι' αυτό και πάντα μια ενότητα την αφιερώνουμε είτε σε θέματα το startup που είναι στο νησί, είτε τα θέματα τα ενεργειακά, αλλά προσπαθούμε να έρθουμε σε ακόμα μεγαλύτερη επαφή με το νησί της Σύρου, το οποίο βεβαίως μας φιλοξενεί όλα αυτά τα χρόνια και τα θέματα τα οποία απασχολούν και τις επιχειρήσεις και το επιμελητριακό κομμάτι, ας πούμε, μιας και μας φιλοξενεί εδώ πέρα στο χώρο του και το επιμελητήριο κυκλάδων. Είναι θέματα τα οποία μας απασχολούν. Ενδεχομένως το format, σκεφτόμαστε ίσως τώρα μπαίνουμε σε πιο τεχνικά θέματα, ίσως ξανασκεφτούμε κάπως τον τρόπο με τον οποίο οργανώνουμε τις συνεδρίες, ίσως κάνουμε έτσι ένα small scale έρευνα κιόλας στο κοινό μας, αν θα ήθελε έναν διαφορετικό τρόπο να δομήσουμε το σεμινάριο του χρόνου, το οποίο να επιτρέψει ίσως και σε περισσότερους να έρθουν εδώ και να συνδυάσουν το τερπνόν με τα του ωφελήμου στο νησί και ίσως να κάνει και πιο έτσι, ευχάριστη και την παρουσία εδώ πέρα. Μήπως πολλές φορές σκεφτόμαστε ότι είναι ίσως βαριές αρκετά έτσι, οι παρουσιάσεις τις οποίες οργανώνουμε. Ίσως εκεί θέλουμε να το ξαναδούμε και ίσως θέλουμε και τη γνώμη σας αυτό, πώς θα το κάνουμε ακόμα πιο ελκυστικό το σεμινάριο. Αυτά εγώ ήθελα να πω σε πρώτη φάση. Δεν ξέρω, Γιάννη, αν θες κάτι να πεις και εσύ.
Θα ξεκινήσει. Ωραία. Λοιπόν, καλά, και εγώ πραγματικά είναι μια μεγάλη ευχαρίστηση το ότι υπάρχει αυτή η συνέχεια, η οποία δεν έσπασε ούτε όταν έγινε η πανδημία, ούτε όταν έγινε τα capital control, δηλαδή δύο χρήσιμες στιγμές τα τελευταία χρόνια, το 2015 και το 2020.
Στα capital control είμαστε εδώ.
Εδώ είμαστε. Ναι, αυτό λέω, ήταν δύο σημαντικά γεγονότα ότι συνέχισε κανονικά η διαδικασία και πράγματι η Σύρος, μην ξεχνάμε όμως ότι είναι και ένα νησί που έχει μια πολύ μεγάλη παράδοση. Πρώτον ήταν η πρώτη σημαντική πόλη στο νέο ελληνικό κράτος, ήταν η Ερμούπολη. Επίσης έπαιξε ένα μεγάλο ρόλο και στη βιομηχανική ανάπτυξη της χώρας, αλλά και στην Ανατολική Μεσόγειο. Ήταν ένα μέρος και μια πόλη και ένα νησί κλειδιά. Επίσης, μην ξεχνάμε ότι ιδίως από τους ιστορικούς, και εδώ θέλω να μιλήσω ιδιαίτερα για τον Βασίλη Παναγιωτόπουλο, που είναι ένας από τους σημαντικότερους ιστορικούς της Ελλάδος και όχι μόνο στα ελληνικά πράγματα, αλλά και ευρύτερα. Αλλά και όλη η κοινότητα αυτή των ιστορικών που ξεκίνησε να μελετάει το φαινόμενο Ερμούπολης, Σύρος κλπ. Πόσο μετά από μια μεγάλη καταστροφή που έγινε το 1822, όταν βουλιάξανε την ναυαρχίδα των Τούρκων στο λιμάνι της Χίου, έγινε μια εξοντωτική αντεπίθεση των Τούρκων που σκότωσε πάρα πολλούς ανθρώπους και πάρα πολλοί κατέφυγαν εδώ. Και κατέφυγαν χωρίς τίποτα, εκτός από το γεγονός ότι είχαν δικτύωση, γιατί ήδη κυριαρχούσαν σε πολλά, στην αυτιλία και στο εμπόριο κτλ. Και διάθεση να συνεχίσουν και να δημιουργήσουν πραγματικά ένα ιδιαίτερα σημαντικό φαινόμενο για το ελληνικό κράτος, αλλά όχι μόνο για το ελληνικό κράτος και για την ευρύτερη περιοχή. Λοιπόν, αυτά τα σεμινάρια ξεκινήσαν από την δεκαετία του 80, νομίζω το 84, από το Εθνικό Ίδρυμα Ερευνών, και νομίζω ότι συνεχίστηκαν. Βέβαια σήμερα έχουν μειωθεί πολλά. Ένα από αυτά που άντεξε, που ξεκίνησε βέβαια αργότερα το δικό μας, το 1999 ήταν ένα δοκιμαστικό που έγινε μεταξύ ιστορικών αλλά και ανθρώπων σύγχρονα που μελετούν διαφορετικών υποβάθρων, δηλαδή μηχανικών, οικονομολόγων, ανθρώπων της διοίκησης κτλ. Και μετά ξεκίνησε από το 2006 συνεχώς μέχρι σήμερα. Μάλιστα πέρσι, την τελευταία μέρα, δηλαδή το Σάββατο απόγευμα, είχε γίνει και μια συζήτηση για το μέλλον της Ερμούπολης και της Σύρου μέχρι το τέλος στην επόμενη δεκαετία. Φέτος δεν το επαναλάβουμε αυτό, γιατί είναι και δημοτικές εκλογές, υπάρχουν και διάφορες πολλές φορές εκεί λεπτές ισορροπίες. Αλλά νομίζω ότι όλα αυτά όσον αφορά το περιεχόμενο θα το δούμε. Το δεύτερο είναι ότι κατά καιρούς έχουμε καλέσει πολύ σοβαρούς ξένους να έρθουν εδώ, δηλαδή μερικά session ήταν και στα αγγλικά. Το πιο χαρακτηριστικό είναι ότι είχε έρθει το 2008 ή 2009, δεν θυμάμαι, μία από τις μεγαλύτερες ερευνήτριες Αμερικάνα στα θέματα καινοτομίας και επιχειρηματικότητας, η οποία έβγαλε μια πολύ καλή ομιλία. Ήρθε για μία μέρα και έμεινε εδώ και ξανά φύγε, και η οποία ύστερα από 2 χρόνια πήρε το ισοδύναμο με κάποιο τρόπο βραβείο Νόμπελ, δεν λέγεται Νόμπελ, είναι του Σουηδικού Συνδέσμου των Επιχειρήσεων και κυρίως των μικρομεσαίων επιχειρήσεων που είναι πολύ δραστήριες εκεί, ως η καλύτερη ερευνήτρια εκείνη τη χρονιά. Θέλω να πω ότι είχαμε και πάρα πολλούς, και επίσης πρέπει να ξαναδούμε την ιστορία και ένα κομμάτι να είναι πάλι σε αγγλικά κτλ. Και όπως επίσης και να συνδεθούμε λίγο παραπάνω με το Πανεπιστήμιο, που βέβαια είναι και πρόβλημα του Πανεπιστημίου, αλλά και πρόβλημα και δικό μας μερικές φορές. Το επιμελητήριο πράγματι μας έχει βοηθήσει πάρα πολύ με την στήριξή του. Και θέλω να πω ότι τα τελευταία χρόνια έχουν γίνει και 2 μεγάλα συνέδρια. Το ένα στο οποίο είμαστε και εμείς συνδιοργανωτές πέρσι, στο πλαίσιο ενός δικτύου Erasmus Plus, που φέρνει κοντά διάφορα πανεπιστήμια σε ένα μεγάλο μεταπτυχιακό πρόγραμμα και κάνει και ερευνητικά συνέδρια κάθε 2 χρόνια. Και φέτος ένα άλλο συνέδριο, το οποίο έγινε από το Οικονομικό Πανεπιστήμιο και μια ομάδα καθηγητών από την Αμερική, και το οποίο είχε και αυτό πολύ μεγάλη επιτυχία. Και τα 2 είχαν μεγάλη επιτυχία και μείναν πάρα πολύ ευχαριστημένοι αυτοί που ήρθαν, αλλά και στον τόπο κινήθηκε ένα νέο με πεδίο δραστηριότητας που είναι ο συνεδριακός τουρισμός, που πιστεύουμε τουλάχιστον αρκετοί από εμάς ότι αυτό είναι ένας από τους δρόμους και όχι ο κλασικός τουρισμός, που ο οποίος και στις Κυκλάδες έχει πια στα όρια του, ας πούμε, ακόμα και στη Μύκονο που είναι brand names αυτά τα πράγματα. Αυτό είναι το ένα. Το δεύτερο είναι ότι πράγματι αυτό που λέει ο Άγγελος, υπάρχει ένας προβληματισμός πώς θα βελτιστοποιήσουμε λίγο έστω και επεκτείνοντας και λίγο τις μέρες, γιατί η επέκταση δίνει και μια ευκαιρία σε κάποιον να κάνει και κάποιες μικρές διακοπές, ας πούμε. Και πώς θα ίσως αυξήσουμε, γιατί αυτό δεν ήταν οργανωμένο. Δηλαδή, οι παρουσιάσεις είναι πολύ σημαντικό που γίνονται και πολλές φορές από νέους ανθρώπους ή και από ξένους φιλοξενούμενους, αλλά ίσως σε μερικές περιπτώσεις χρειάζεται περισσότερος διάλογος να γίνει και μεταξύ ανθρώπων από διαφορετικά background ή τουλάχιστον κάποια από αυτά. Ας πούμε, σε ένα από τα σημαντικά συνέδρια των σπουδών της καινοτομίας, το Druid που είναι στη Δανία, ένα κριτήριο που κάναν σε αυτά τα πράγματα ήταν κάναν και ορισμένα debates, ας πούμε, και που φέρνανε δύο που ήταν υπέρ και δύο κατά, για ορισμένα μεγάλα θέματα. Ξέρω εγώ τότε που αφορούσαν τις επιχειρήσεις, που αφορούσαν το innovation, που αφορούσαν τη σχέση research. Κάποιος υποστήριζε, δύο υποστήριζαν κάτι και δύο άλλοι κάτι αντίθετο και γινόταν και ένας διάλογος και ψηφίζαν και στο τέλος. Δηλαδή ψηφίζαν πριν ποια άποψη νομίζουν θα επικρατήσει και μετά εάν ο διάλογος επηρέασε και πώς. Λοιπόν, υπάρχουν διάφορα τέτοια τα οποία είναι καλό να τα
σκεφτόμαστε και προφανώς
συζητάμε και
σε αυτή τη μικρή έτσι, έρευνα που λέμε να κάνουμε από Σεπτέμβριο θα ζητήσουμε και τη γνώμη σας βεβαίως για να καταγράψουμε λίγο και την άποψή σας. Θόδωρε, θες κάτι να πεις?
Λοιπόν, καλά, δεν έχω να προσθέσω πολλά. Νομίζω ότι πρέπει όντως να το ξαναδούμε και κάπως έγκαιρα, δηλαδή από το Σεπτέμβριο και όχι πολύ αργότερα, τον τρόπο που θα οργανώνουμε το σεμινάριο. Εγώ θα ήθελα να σταθώ, νομίζω ότι είναι καλό να ξαναδούμε σίγουρα τη μορφή του σεμιναρίου και παρότι, όπως υπόθηκε, μας άφησε θετικά η πανδημία, νομίζω ότι πρέπει να ξαναγυρίσουμε στο να είναι αποκλειστικά διαδρώσεις και χωρίς εξ αποστάσεως συμμετοχές.
Γιατί αποτρέπει από την ανάρτηση στις ήρολες. Ναι.
Όχι, δεν το λέω με αυτήν την έννοια. Το λέω ότι δίνει άλλο χαρακτήρα στο σεμινάριο. Δηλαδή, είναι πιο ουσιαστική συμμετοχή. Αυτοί που έρχονται εδώ είναι διατεθειμένοι να συμμετάσχουν. Άρα, και ειδικά αν προσαρμόσουμε το πρόγραμμα ώστε να μην είναι τόσο βαρύ και εξοδοτικό για το τριήμερο, θα δώσει άλλα χαρακτηριστικά. Και νομίζω ότι εάν δώσουμε και σε παρουσιάσεις όπως, ας πούμε, γίνανε πολλές από αποτελέσματα ερευνητικά, όπως στα θέματα που καταλαβαίνω εγώ καλύτερα, όπως η δουλειά που παρουσίασε ο Βασίλης ο Μάγκλαρης, νομίζω ότι αυτό δίνει περιεχόμενο και λειτουργεί και στο να διαμορφώσει, ας πούμε, μια σειρά από θέματα για μελλοντική έρευνα και σε αρκετούς από εμάς δίνει και ένα διεπιστημονικό χαρακτήρα ώστε να καταλάβουμε καλύτερα, λόγω παράδειγμα, τι θα πει, ας πούμε, εφαρμοσμένη έρευνα σε θέματα, ας πούμε, μηχανικής μάθησης ή τεχνητής νοημοσύνης, που προφανώς είναι πλέον ένα επίκαιρο θέμα διεπιστημονικό σε όλους τους επιστημονικούς κλάδους και ιδιαίτερα για τους νεότερους ερευνητές. Και νομίζω ότι αν δουλέψουμε λίγο καλύτερα ας πούμε, στην ιδιαίτερη θεματολογία και στους ειδικότερους στόχους του σεμιναρίου κάθε χρονιά, αλλά έγκαιρα όμως, όχι τελευταία στιγμή, δηλαδή ξεκινήσουμε από το φθινόπωρο, συζητήσουμε, κάνουμε αυτή την έρευνα που λέμε με όλους όσους έχουν συμμετάσχει ως τώρα και βγει η θεματολογία, νομίζω ότι θα έχουμε και τη δυνατότητα να οργανώσουμε λίγο καλύτερα τις ενότητες, τα sessions, να μην έχουμε τόσες πολλές ομιλίες, να δίνεται δυνατότητα μεγαλύτερη διαλογική συζήτηση, λίγο πολύ στο μοντέλο που περιέγραψε ο Γιάννης, ώστε να υπάρχει, ας πούμε, η δυνατότητα συμμετοχής έμεσης και άμεσης, δηλαδή είτε με το να λες τη γνώμη σου ψηφίζοντας με το κινητό σου, ας πούμε, πάνω σε ένα θέμα, είτε παρεμβαίνοντας και μιλώντας. Αυτό αποκτάει μια μεγαλύτερο ενδιαφέρον για τους συμμετέχοντες και πιστεύω ότι αν το βελτιώσουμε προς αυτή την κατεύθυνση, νομίζω ότι θα έχουμε και καλύτερη συμμετοχή και θα αποκτήσει και μια νέα μορφή, ας πούμε, και πιο σύγχρονη το σεμινάριο.
Εκτός από το να διαβάσω και κάποιο που μας έχουν στείλει από τα chat εδώ πέρα, νομίζω, από τη μια βέβαια το κάνεις μόνο αποκλειστικά με παρουσία, δίνεις ένα πιο δυνατό χαρακτήρα εδώ πέρα και δίνεις και επιτρέπεις στο περιθώριο και των συζητήσεων να μιλήσει, να ανταλλάξουν απόψεις άνθρωποι κτλ. Αλλά και αυτή τη χρονιά πρώτον από πολλά πώς το λένε όπως είναι η μεταρρύθμιση, όπως είναι το ΚΑΠΑ Report κτλ. Διαφημίσαν πάρα πολύ το σεμινάριο Και πράγματι συνδέθηκαν πάρα πολύ και παρακολούθησαν τις εργασίες αυτές, που και αυτό είναι καλό. Ή μπορεί να γίνει κάποιο ενδιάμεσο και να πούμε ότι όσοι είναι εκτός Ελλάδος, που είναι όπως ο κ. Σκορπάκης ή κάποιοι άλλοι, να μπορούν τουλάχιστον αυτοί να μπουν και να μιλήσουν. Αλλά, εν πάση περιπτώσει, πρέπει να τα δούμε και αυτά. Λοιπόν, διαβάζω τώρα ένα...
Ακούμε και το σχόλιο, την κυρία Κυρίτσι, ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ για το σχόλιο το οποίο κάνετε, και αυτό είναι μέσα σε αυτά τα πράγματα τα οποία θέλουμε.
Ας το διαβάσουμε, είναι 4-5 γραμμές. Ευχαριστούμε για την τόσο καλή οργάνωση. Οι εισηγήσεις και οι παρουσιάσεις όλων των συμμετεχόντων ήταν πολύ ψηλού επίπεδου. Πραγματικά, έχει πολύ ενδιαφέρον που θέλετε να κάνετε έρευνα και προσαρμογή για το επόμενο σεμινάριο. Για να πω τη γνώμη μου, θα πρότεινα εργαστήρια σε μικρότερες ομάδες για να επικεντρώσουμε σε πιο συγκεκριμένα θέματα, παραδείγματος χάρη GDPR, τεχνητή νοημοσύνη, πράσινη ενέργεια κλπ. Αυτό θα ήθελα να προτείνω και ίσως και εκεί να δοθεί και μια μεγαλύτερη ανάλυση και λεπτομέρεια. Με εκτίμηση Κυριακή Κυρίτσι, MSc, σπουδές δηλαδή, στέλεχος στην περιφέρεια του Νοτιού Αιγαίου. Νομίζω ότι ήταν την πρώτη μέρα ή την δεύτερη η κυρία Κυρίτσι εδώ. Και επίσης ο κ. Χατζηγεωργίου, που ήταν και πρώην διευθυντής νομίζω του νοσοκομείου εδώ, που ερχόταν συνήθως, κάτι έστειλε, αλλά βλέπω μόνο τον τίτλο του, ας πούμε.
Όχι. Και αυτός το διαβάσαμε πριν. Στέλνει τους χαιρετισμούς του και την ικανοποίησή του από το επίπεδο των παρεμβάσεων και των συμμετοχών.
Ωραία. Κύριος Σκορπάκης, μήπως θέλει να πει κάτι.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ και για την αναφορά που με έκανε ο κ. Καλογύρου. Πιστεύω ότι το να κρατήσετε το ευρυδικό κομμάτι είναι πολύ σημαντικό, όχι για μένα ειδικότερα, αλλά νομίζω ότι έχει καθιερωθεί πια και μετά την οξία φάση της πανδημίας, ότι τα περισσότερα συνέδρια τα οποία γίνονται έχουν πάντοτε ένα υβριδικό κομμάτι, το οποίο, όπως είπε και ο κύριος Ζακανίκα, δίνει τη δυνατότητα σε πολύ κόσμο να συμμετέχει και περισσότερο απ' όλα να διαδίδεται η ιδέα του σεμιναρίου και το τι ακριβώς κάνει. Το δεύτερο που ήθελα να πω είναι ότι το γεγονός ότι το κάνει στην Ερμούπολη, πέρα από το γεγονός ότι ενδεχομένως μπορεί να το συνδυάζεται με κάποιες διακοπές ή με το ελληνικό καλοκαίρι, νομίζω θα ήταν σκόπιμο να δοθεί λίγο μεγαλύτερη έμφαση στα θέματα τοπικής ανάπτυξης και περιφερειακής ανάπτυξης. Κάποια στιγμή στη συζήτηση ήρθε το θέμα για το πρόγραμμα πλαίσιο των εθνικών προτεραιοτήτων. Και το θέμα του τι θα πει εθνικές προτεραιότητες είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό. Ποιος τις ορίζει, πώς ορίζονται, αν έχουν σχέση με το χώρο ή όχι. Γιατί υπάρχει μια αντίληψη ότι μπορούμε να τα κάνουμε όλα στην Ελλάδα. Υπάρχουν κάποιοι άνθρωποι, ας πούμε, που, όπως ξέρω, δίνουν μεγάλη σημασία σε θέματα διαστήματος, το οποίο είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό οπωσδήποτε και υπάρχει επιστημονική κοινότητα. Από την άλλη μεριά υπάρχουν και θέματα τα οποία θα έπρεπε να δούμε που είναι συνδεδεμένα πιο πολύ με τις τοπικές κοινωνίες και το θέμα του ότι γίνεται στην Ερμούπολη θα μπορούσε να έχει μεγαλύτερη σημασία και μεγαλύτερη έμφαση. Θα κλείσω λέγοντας ότι πιστεύω ότι θα ήταν σκόπιμο να δοθεί έτσι μεγαλύτερη έμφαση και σε περισσότερα ευρωπαϊκά θέματα. Νομίζω ότι ο κόσμος ακόμη μετά από 35 χρόνια και πλέον στην κοινότητα δεν ξέρει καλά πώς λειτουργεί η κοινότητα. Αυτό οφείλεται επίσης και στην πολυπλοκότητα των κοινοτικών προγραμμάτων. Από ένα σημείο και έπειτα έχουν χαθεί μερικά πράγματα και ίσως η κοινότητα προχωρεί λίγο με μεγαλύτερη ταχύτητα από ό,τι μπορούν να παρακολουθήσουν οι ενδιαφερόμενοι. Πιστεύω ότι το τελευταίο που θέλω να πω, όλα αυτά μπορούν να γίνουν ή να μην γίνουν σχετικά με το πόσο φιλόδοξοι είσαστε για αυτό που θέλετε να κάνετε. Δηλαδή πόσο θέλετε να γεμίζετε αυτή την αίθουσα, πόσο θέλετε να ξέρουν αυτοί που είναι εκτός τι γίνεται εκεί, πώς το διαφημίζετε, πόσο έγκαιρα μαθαίνουμε για το σεμινάριο αυτό και την πρόσβαση σε αυτό το σεμινάριο κτλ. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ για την πολύ ωραία προσπάθεια.
Ευχαριστούμε, κύριε Κορβάκη, να είστε καλά. Ακούμε βεβαίως τα σχόλιά σας και αυτά και θα είναι και πολύ χρήσιμη, όπως σας είπα, και τα σχόλια και μετά στο μικρό survey το οποίο θα κάνουμε έτσι για να μπορούμε. Και τα δύο, όλα αυτά που λέτε είναι πολύ σημαντικά και τα ευρωπαϊκά αυτό που βάλατε. Εμάς μας ενδιαφέρει, όπως είπαμε, και η τοπική κοινότητα και τα ευρωπαϊκά θέματα. Όντως, έχουμε προσπαθήσει κατά καιρούς και έχουμε ασχοληθεί έτσι με θέματα ευρύτερου, ας πούμε, ενδιαφέροντος, και όντως είναι κάτι το οποίο και αυτό ίσως είναι ένας ρόλος τον οποίο πρέπει να τον επιτελέσουμε και να τον εντάξουμε στο σεμιναριακό κομμάτι. Ωραία, δεν ξέρω αν υπάρχει εδώ κάποιος ο οποίος θέλει κάτι να σχολιάσει, κάτι να πει για τα θέματά μας, πριν οδηγηθούμε στην καθιερωμένη φωτογραφία των τοπικών, τη λήξη του σεμιναρίου. Να ευχαριστήσουμε λοιπόν και τον Παναγιωτόπουλο που συντονίζει και είναι και αυτή τη χρονιά σε επαφή με τους δέκτες και είναι και πομπός και συντονίζει και τους δέκτες για όλο το κοινό μας. Έτσι, Παναγιώτη. Και βεβαίως το Γιάννη, πώς το Γιάννη, στο εφησέτο, Θεοδόρου, έτσι. Γιάννης, σε ξέρω εγώ. Γιάννης Θεοδόρου, πάντα εδώ. Ένα χειροκρότημα και για τον Γιάννη Θεοδόρου, που επιτρέπει να εμφανίζονται οθόνες περίεργες, εν πάση περιπτώσει, και κάποιος φροντίζει να με βγάζει και ωραίον στην κάμερα. Πάντα έτσι. Αλλά δεν γίνονται και θαύματα. Ναι. Λοιπόν, και να ευχαριστήσουμε και το επιμελητήριο, βεβαίως. Δεν είναι εδώ τώρα ο πρόεδρος ο Ρούς, αλλά τον έχουμε ευχαριστήσει 2-3 μέρες τώρα. Οπότε ευχαριστούμε πολύ πάλι για το φιλόξενο. Είχε και την κατάλληλη θερμοκρασία. Εδώ πετύχαμε τρομερή θερμοκρασία, οπότε δεν είναι να κινείς έξω. Εδώ πέρα ήταν μια χαρά. Και να ανανεώσουμε το ραντεβού μας για του χρόνου, ίσως με ένα νέο φορμάτ και με περισσότερους και συνδυασμό του τερπνών μετά το φελί μου, έτσι, εδώ και με την παρουσία μας. Και να ευχαριστήσω και όλους όσοι βέβαια ήρθαν εδώ και τους χορηγούς μας και το Konrad Adenauer και την Break Even και το επιμελητήριο και την ΕΛΑΚ και το Tech Transfer Office που ας πούμε τώρα ότι εντάξαμε αυτή την ενότητα που είχαμε στο σεμινάριο. Λοιπόν, αυτά είχα να πω. Ο κύριος Χατζηγεωργίου, έχει σηκώσει κάποιο χέρι, ναι. Ο γιατρός. Ναι.
Εκ λάθους, αλλά δεν ήθελα να σας ευχαριστήσω ευγνωμόνως άλλη μία φορά ήθελα.
Εντάξει, να είστε καλά, να είστε καλά.
Ευχαριστώ.
Ωραία.
Ευχαριστώ.
Κύριε Χατζηγεωργίου, ευχαριστούμε πολύ και τον γιατρό.
Ευχαριστώ.
Και με αυτά κλείνουμε. Ευχαριστούμε πολύ και καλή επιστροφή και σε όλους. Αυτά.
Καλό καλοκαίρι.
Και καλό υπόλοιπο καλοκαίρι, το φάγαμε το μισό μήνα εμείς. Αυτά. Ευχαριστούμε πολύ. Χειροκρότημα τελικό. Και φωτογραφία μετά.